We've all heard it before. The familiar words that echo in our minds, the promises that seem to hold so much weight. A father, a leader, a husband stands tall and admits fault. He acknowledges his errors, his missteps, and his failures. He takes responsibility for his actions, his mistakes, his shortcomings. It's a moment of vulnerability, a rare glimpse into his inner turmoil. He vows to do better, to be better for the sake of his family, his team, his legacy. He promises change, a new beginning, a fresh start. In that moment, a sense of relief washes over everyone. There's a collective sigh, a shared hope that things will finally improve. Maybe, just maybe, this is the turning point. The moment when everything changes for the better, when the future looks brighter. But what happens when that promise is broken? When the words that once brought hope now bring pain and confusion? What happens when the very person who vowed to make things right is the one who walks away, leaving chaos and heartbreak in their wake? The devastation is palpable, the betrayal deep. This isn't just about broken promises, it's about a dangerous pattern of behavior where accountability becomes a calculated performance, a manipulation tactic disguised as remorse. It's a facade, a mask worn to deceive. These men crave control, even in their departure. They seek to dominate the narrative, to shape the story to their advantage. They want to dictate the narrative, to ensure they are seen as the tragic hero, not the villain. They craft their confessions carefully, with an eye on public perception. Their confessions, while seemingly sincere, are often a calculated move to garner sympathy and deflect blame. It's a strategic play, a move on a chessboard. This essay delves into the minds of these men, exploring the motivations behind their actions and the devastating impact on those left behind. We seek to understand the why, the how, and the aftermath. We'll examine the red flags, the justifications, and the long-lasting consequences of their choices. Through this exploration, we hope to shed light on the hidden truths and the real cost of broken promises. The admission of guilt, the heartfelt apology, the visible regret etched on his face, the promise to change. These are the ingredients of a carefully constructed facade, a delicate dance of words and emotions. It's a performance designed to elicit sympathy and paint a picture of a man willing to take responsibility. He might express remorse, shed tears, and show a vulnerability that seems genuine. He will vow to make amends, to right the wrongs he has committed. For those who have been hurt, this can feel like a lifeline, a beacon of hope in a sea of despair. It's a validation of their pain, an acknowledgement of the wrong that has been done, a recognition that their suffering has not been in vain. Hope flickers. Hope that things will be different, that the cycle of hurt and betrayal will finally come to an end. Hope that the family will heal, that the wounds will mend, and that the future will be brighter. That the family will heal, that the father they thought they knew will finally emerge, stronger and more loving. He might promise to attend therapy, to be more present, to engage more deeply with his loved ones. He might promise to attend therapy, to be more present, to break free from the patterns that led him astray. To break free from the patterns that led him astray. To abandon the habits that caused so much pain. He might even take some initial steps in the right direction, showing signs of genuine change, further fueling the belief that real change is possible, that the promises made will be kept. But beneath the surface, a storm is brewing, unseen and unspoken. The seeds of doubt have already been sown, taking root in the hearts of those who have been hurt before. These initial efforts, these heartfelt promises, are often just a temporary fix, a band-aid on a deeper wound, a way to buy time and maintain control as he plots his next move, a strategy to keep the facade intact while deeper issues remain unresolved. And then, just as quickly as hope emerged, it's ripped away. The father disappears. He might vanish without a trace, leaving behind unanswered questions and a deafening silence. Or he might offer a string of justifications, each more flimsy than the last. It's too much pressure. I'm not good for you. You're better off without me. These are the mantras of a man seeking to absolve himself of responsibility, to shift the blame onto those he is about to hurt. He might claim he's doing it for their own good, that his presence is toxic and his absence will ultimately bring them peace. He paints himself as the martyr, sacrificing his own happiness for the well-being of his family. But the truth is far less noble. This sudden departure is about self-preservation, about escaping the consequences of his actions and the weight of his promises. It's a cowardly act disguised as a selfless one, leaving behind a trail of devastation that he will never fully witness. To understand this behavior, we need to peel back the layers of manipulation, much like peeling an onion, revealing the core of his intentions, and expose the raw motivations underneath. At the heart of it all is a desperate need for control. By confessing and promising change, he seizes control of the narrative, shaping it to his advantage. He dictates how his actions are perceived, positioning himself as a flawed but ultimately good man who is trying his best. This feeds his need to protect his image, to be seen as someone who is striving for betterment. He wants to be seen as the victim, the one who fell short but ultimately cares deeply. This allows him to maintain a sense of self-worth, even as he prepares to commit an act that will inevitably cause immense pain to those around him. But perhaps the most powerful motivator is self-preservation. Facing his mistakes, putting in the work to change, and dealing with the consequences of his actions is simply too difficult for him to bear. It's easier to escape, to disappear into the shadows and avoid the hard work of redemption. He chooses to walk away, blending into the background, avoiding confrontation. He chooses the path of least resistance, leaving others to clean up the mess he has created, leaving behind a trail of confusion and sadness for those who once trusted him. Behind. The fallout from this type of abandonment is far-reaching and devastating. Children are left grappling with feelings of confusion, abandonment, and self-blame. They may question their own worthiness, wondering what they could have done differently to keep their father present. Partners are left to pick up the pieces, navigating emotional turmoil while shouldering the burden of single parenthood or leadership. They are left to explain the unexplainable, to reassure and support while silently battling their own pain and anger. And let's not forget the colleagues and employees who may have been impacted by this man's actions. They too are left to deal with the consequences of his choices, often blindsided by his sudden departure and the instability it creates. The ripple effects of this type of abandonment are profound, leaving behind a trail of broken trust, shattered dreams, and emotional scars that may take a lifetime to heal. Warning signs of impending abandonment. While it's impossible to predict with certainty whether someone will abandon their responsibilities, there are often red flags that can serve as warning signs. These individuals may exhibit a pattern of inconsistent behavior, flip-flopping between grand gestures of remorse and periods of emotional distance or disengagement. They may be quick to make promises, but slow to follow through, their actions rarely matching their words. They may also deflect blame, minimizing their role in conflicts, or finding excuses for their behavior. Pay attention to how they handle accountability. Do they take responsibility in a way that feels genuine and leads to tangible change, or do they use it as a means to control the narrative and garner sympathy? Trust your instincts. If something feels off, if his words don't align with his actions, it's important to be cautious and prioritize your own well-being. Documentation, preparation, and support systems. Navigating the aftermath of this type of betrayal requires strength, resilience, and a strong support system. If you find yourself in this situation, there are steps you can take to protect yourself and begin the healing process. Document everything. Keep records of promises made, agreements reached, and any instances of inconsistent behavior or broken commitments. This documentation can be invaluable if you need to seek legal counsel or financial support. Prepare for the possibility of abandonment. While this may seem daunting, it's important to have a plan in place in case the unthinkable happens. This might include exploring alternative living arrangements, seeking financial advice, or developing a support network of trusted friends, family, or professionals. Remember, you are not alone. Reach out to therapists, support groups, or trusted loved ones who can provide emotional support and guidance. Building a strong support system is crucial for navigating the challenges ahead and reclaiming your sense of agency. After abandonment. Healing from this type of betrayal is a journey, not a destination. It takes time, courage, and a willingness to confront painful emotions. Therapy can provide a safe and supportive space to process your experience, develop coping mechanisms, and begin rebuilding your life. Focus on self-care. Engage in activities that bring you joy, prioritize your physical and emotional well-being, and surround yourself with people who uplift and empower you. Remember that healing is not linear. There will be good days and bad days, moments of progress and setbacks